Doors not closed, you're gonna fail. You cannot move the bus while the doors open. Alright? So this paper, like I said, is very important. Make sure you follow every step on the air brake. Alright, one step you don't do right, you're gonna fail. Very important. So before you start the test, make sure the door is completely closed. Alright, so step number 1. So when the inspector tell me to do the air brake test, first I'm gonna tell the inspector I'm going to grab the shock block. I'm going outside to shock block the bus. So as I'm going down, I'm gonna use my treatment of contact. Alright, so I go, I shock block the bus. So I come back in, key with me. So when I come back in, first I want to put my seat belt before I put the key on the ignition. So first I put my seat belt on. Second, I put the key on. And I'm going to tell the inspector I'm going to check my air compressor cut out. Alright. So for me to do that, I'm going to see. Before I start the bus, I'm gonna wait for it to start. So all the light should cycle. And then only the P should stay on the dash. So now I'm going to start the bus. And I'm going to assist it, meaning step on the accelerator, step on the gas. And I'm going to assist it, and I'm going to try to keep it around 1000 RPM. So meaning not force it on the gas.
Didn't it just cut out?
Alright, so let's pretend I didn't hear cut out. So I step on the gas, I'm watching the gauge. Usually the cut out should happen between 120 and 125. So let's pretend I just came in, then I didn't hear any sound, nothing. I'm looking at the gauge not moving. So I don't have to keep hold it for a long time. So as soon as I step on it, watch my gauge, see, gauge not moving. So I'm gonna tell the inspector, well, it seemed like maybe my bus already cut out, but I'm going to show you the proper way to cut it out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to drop the pressure to 90 psi. So for me to do that, remember I told you, anytime you're gonna step on this, make sure you release the parking brake. When you reach the number you want, then you're gonna apply it back. So I'm going to drop the pressure to 90 psi. So for me to do that, I'm gonna release the parking brake. I'm going to pump on the service brake gently till reach 90 psi. Okay, now it reach 90. Even if past 90, like go 80, 85, doesn't matter. Alright. So it reach 90 psi, I'm going to apply the parking brake back. Now I'm going to assist it till the governors cut out. So governor should cut out around 120, 125. Okay, the governor just cut out, and it's cut out around 121 psi. Now I'm going to shut off the bus, and I'm going to listen for leak, and I hear and see no leak.
So we're going to open the doors when we do that?
Turn the key to the on position for electricity. Right, now I'm going to test the parking air brake leakage weight. So for me to do that, I'm going to release the parking brake, and I'm going to tell the inspector after the initial job of 5 to 15 psi should not hear no more than 2 psi in 1 minute. I'm going to time it. So I'm timing it, watching my clock, and the inspector might tell me, let's assume that minute pass by. If he doesn't say that, I'm going to keep eyes on my watch until I reach that minute. So let's assume that minute pass by. Then I'm going to tell the inspector, I hear and see no additional job. Now I'm going to test my service brake for leak. So I'm going to step firmly on the service brake and I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to tell the inspector, after the initial drop of 5 to 15 psi, should not drop more than 3 psi in 1 minute. I'm going to time it. All right. Let's say that the inspector tell me, let's assume that minute passed by. If he doesn't say it, I'm going to watch my clock. All right. So let's say that minute passed by. I remove my foot from the service brake and I'm going to tell the inspector, well, I see and he no additional drop. Now I'm going to test my low air warning signal. So what I'm gonna be doing now, I'm going to step on and off the service brake and around 60 psi. All right, you have to give this information to an inspector. So I'm gonna step on off the service brake around 60 psi. The low air warning signal, which is a buzzer, a light, should come on the dash. All right, so I'm going to test it. The pressure start dropping. So usually on this bus around 50, 57, 58, buzzer should come and light should come. All right. So you let the inspector know. See, I remove my foot from the service brake. I tell the inspector, around 60 psi, low air warning light and buzzer just came out. So now I'm going to test my spring brake knob function. For me to do that, I'm going to continue step on off the service brake until it reaches between 45 and 20 psi. All right, then the spring brake knob should pop out automatically.
Yeah.
Alright, you have to watch the gauge. Whatever number pop out, you tell them the number. It's not 30, it's less than that.
Yeah.
So around 26 psi, the spring brake knob just came out. Now I'm going to, so what happened now, the bus is on emergency mode. Bus will not move until you, the driver, try to put the air back in the system, because right now the bus is like almost on E. So what you're gonna tell the inspector, now I'm going to do the rate of build up. So I'm gonna build up air back in the system. So for me to do that, only way you can build up the air back, you have to start the engine and then you have to assist it with some guys. So I'm going to do the system build up. I'm going to start the bus and I'm going to assist it with guys, but I'm going to assist it till 85 psi. So this is what you're gonna do. So when you sit around 70 psi, you start give the inspector the rest of the information, and then you keep your eyes on the gauge. When you see 85 psi, then you tell him, now it's at 85, I'm going to time it. It should take 45 seconds from 85 to reach 100 on its own. Close to 85. When the gauge reach 85, it should go on its own from 85 to 100. Then it should take 45 seconds.
And this is when you're timing. Right after that goes off.
All right. So now the gauge at 85. I'm gonna time it for 45 seconds. So 85 should go 100 on its own. Make sure you remove your foot from everything.
Okay.
And now you watch the gauge, now you watch your clock. And when you see this bar, it's at this bar, you just tell him it's at 100. And then try not to tell him more than 45 seconds. If it's more, there's a problem with the system, he might stop the test. Alright, so now my gauge is at 100, it takes 42 seconds. So now I'm going to assist the compressor till it cut out. So I'm gonna assist it till it cut out. Alright, now the air compressor just cut out around 121 psi. Now I'm going to test my governor's cut in. For me to do that test, I'm going to release my parking brake and I'm going to drop the pressure to 90 psi. And then when it reaches 90 psi, I'm going to apply my parking brake back. And the pressure should go from 90 to 100. That's when the governor should cut in. No timing for this one. Okay, so make sure you keep eyes on that
It's
gauge.
100. Once it hits 100, then you're gonna apply assist it at a 100, right?
After 100, yeah. All right, my governor just switched, my pressure just switched 100. My governor just cut in. Now I'm going to assist it till the governor's cut out. Okay, governor just cut out around 122 psi. Now I'm going to test my parking brake and my service brake test. So for me to do that, I'm going to shut off the bus. I'm going to double check the parking brake is set. Going to shut off the bus. Going to remove the key. Take it with me. I'm going to unbuckle my seat belt. I'm going outside, grab the shock block. If the inspector tell me leave them aside, I'm just gonna move them aside.
One, two, 3 points of contact.
Alright, so I'm going back up and I use 2 points of contact. No key in the ignition yet. So I put my seatbelt on. Same thing, I'm gonna put the key to the all the way to the white for electricity. I'm gonna wait for all the light to cycle.
Are we supposed to shut the door?
Yeah. Alright, all the light goes away, only the P's on. I'm going to shut off the bus. So now I'm gonna tell the inspector I'm going to test my parking brake. To test the parking brake, I'm going to start the bus. And I'm going to move the gear to drive. So anytime you're gonna move the gear, try to hold the service brake. Alright, this is not on the paper. But anytime you're gonna move the gear, always stay on the service brake. So I'm going to test my parking brake. So parking brake is this one. That's when I cannot release it. Alright, because that's the one I'm testing. So you have to be applied.
Right.
So I'm going to move the gear to drive or to the lowest gear. Whatever you want it to drive or you move it all the way down, same thing.
Okay.
So I move the gear to drive and I'm going to accelerate to about 1,000 RPM. Bus should not move. So I give it a little guys. That's it. Bus did not move. I'm gonna move it back to neutral. Then I'm gonna tell the inspector, make sure you secure the bus before you give the inspector the result. Alright. So I move the gear back to neutral. I'm gonna tell the inspector I was testing my parking brake. I move the gear to drive, accelerate about 1,000 RPM. Bus did not move. My parking brake is working properly. Now I'm going to test my service brake. So I'm gonna test this. So I have to release parking brake for the bus to be able to move. So I'm going to test my service brake. So for me to test my service brake, I'm gonna move the gear to drive and I'm going to release my parking brake. And then I'm going to move the bus forward 5 miles per hour. I'm going to stop twice. So when I stop, bus should stop, should not have any delay, bus should not move from one side to another side. So I'm going to test that. So release the parking brake, move the bus twice, stop, stop, going to secure my bus. And I'm going to tell the inspector I was testing my service brake. I start the bus, move the bus forward 5 miles per hour. I stop twice. When I stop, bus stop. There is no delay. Bus did not move from one side to another side. No funny noises. That means my service brake is working properly. Because of the anti-idling law, I cannot let my bus run more than 5 minutes. I'm going to shut it off. And I believe I'm done with this portion of the test. And then if you pass, you're gonna move forward. If you don't pass, the wood test is gonna stop right here.